Hello, friends, and welcome to Little Bean's Garden, located in Pomona, California, Zone 10A, established in 2015. My name is Sule, and I will be your host for today. Today is February 19, 2023, and today I will be transplanting the beefsteak tomato seedlings into a bigger place for them to grow. Meanwhile, I have time to put them in the garden. And I have already prepared 4 cups with a bit of potting mix, and I also have already labeled the cups beefsteak. That way I know what type of tomato is growing here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to make a small hole so that we're able to put in our little beefsteak tomato seedlings in these cups. All right, and I'm using these because I find that plastic forks, well, the ends of the plastic forks are better for me to be able to pull out the little seedling without harming it. And I'm sorry about my hands, they're dirty because I have been playing in the garden already. It's really cold, but these little seedlings need to come out of these seed cell trays. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to get this one first, and I'm gonna try to separate it from all sides. And it didn't come out in a perfect square, but I did get most of the little soil cell, most of it with the little seedling. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, so we're going to put the little seedling in here, and we are going to cover it up. Now with tomatoes, I'm pretty sure you know, but in case you don't, in case you're new to gardening, you can go ahead and add more soil and cover up most of that little tomato stem, and it will not harm it. On the contrary, it will actually help it develop its roots nice and big and get the nutrients it needs from all the little roots. Anyways, here's our first one. Let me get the rest done and I will bring you right back. I am completely done transplanting my beefsteak tomato seedlings. The other seed cells have not come up yet, but it's okay. It's been pretty cold here, so I'm pretty sure they're going to need a little bit of more time to come up, and I will keep you guys posted on how these are doing in my garden. Today is March 16, 2023, and I wanted to give you an update on these beautiful beefsteak tomatoes that we up-potted together. They're looking absolutely beautiful. These 3 are beefsteak. I have them here mixed with Big Rainbow, but these are the beefsteaks that I wanted to show you. They're looking absolutely beautiful. It's been raining a lot here, so I haven't had the chance to give them some sun, but I will be doing that these couple of days since there's not going to be rain for at least 3 days. All right, guys, I will keep you posted. Toodles. Today is March 28th, 2023, and today we're going to be putting our beefsteak tomatoes into the raised bed. I don't know, for some reason I only ended up with 4. I think I mislabeled some of them that are in little pots. These were in the cups, so they're definitely labeled correctly. So I'm going to be planting these 4 here. So let's go ahead and get to it. I'm going to be using that Organic Plus tomato, vegetable, and herb fertilizer. I'm going to dig a hole, put some in the hole, and then put our little seedling in there. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll bring you up close. Okay, friends, I did go ahead and bring you guys up close and personal. I have the little hole dug in, or dug out, I should say. And now I'm going to be adding the fertilizer. Here it is. So let's go ahead and add it into the hole. And we are going to be mixing it into the soil here. There we go. And this soil is really nice, rich, and very fluffy. When I started my gardening journey, I had bought raised bed soil, but it was very compacted. It didn't have a lot of like nutrients or anything like that. So every year I work on amending the soil in my raised beds. And check this out. It's not root bound. The roots look nice and healthy, and the plant of course looks nice and beautiful. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to remove these bottom leaves, just because I don't want them touching the ground or getting infected with anything. Okay, so here we go. And I dug the little hole deep because I do want to bury part of the stem. Hopefully you can see that. Yes. Let me see if I can bring you in maybe a little bit even closer. Okay. So as I was saying, I did bury the hole. I did dug the hole a little bit deep because I want to bury part of the stem. And the reason for that is because there will be more roots growing out of the stem. So I want to make sure that I give it enough room to grow the extra roots. Okay, so now we're just gonna make sure that the soil is around it. And what I always do after planting a little seedling, I do add some fertilizer at the top. Never directly against the stem, always away from the stem. So let me go ahead and get the rest planted, and I'll bring you guys right back. All right, friends, so I do have all 4 of the little seedlings planted, and they are looking really nice and healthy already. So all I'm gonna do next is water them in. Here's the other one, and here's the last and 4th one. All right, guys, I will definitely keep you guys updated. Today is April 16, 2023, and this is how the beefsteak tomato plants are doing. They look really, really nice and healthy. If you remember, we planted 4 in this raised bed. All right, friends, let me tell you what happened with these plants from here on out. So the plants grew absolutely beautiful. They were tall, they were big, the leaves were very green, the plant was very lush. However, it did not produce not one single tomato. I'm not gonna fault the variety for it. I'm gonna fault the user of this variety for it, which is me. It was my mistake. Let me tell you why. This planter, it has a shade cloth that I added. I will show you in a little bit. So it has a shade cloth on top because the heat gets so intense here, this shade cloth. However, it also has this building right behind this planter, which provides it with enough shade. On top of that, it has this wahid tree, which also provides it with enough shade. So again, the planter had the shade cloth, which was giving it shade. It had the building behind it, which was giving it shade, and it had that tree in front of it, which was giving it shade. So in essence, the planter had everything the plants needed so that it can grow, it can produce and create those leaves, and so that the leaves would look absolutely beautiful and green and lush and big. But it was starved, or they were starved, because it was 4 plants. They were starved of that sunlight. And again, this is not a variety error. This is a user error, because I, being an experienced gardener, should have known, hey, this planter is being shaded way too much, so you need to give it some sunlight. You need to remove that shade cloth at minimum. that shade cloth should have been removed. So the plants grew very nice, very big, as you can see, but they did not produce any tomato, and I don't believe they even tried to produce any flowers. Again, I don't fault the variety, I fault myself because this was an error on my part. I will give it a second chance next year, and I will try to give it the optimal conditions so that I can grow all the nutrients I gave it before, but not only that, the sun that I'm pretty sure it was starving for. Well guys, that's it from Little Bean's Garden. If you like this video, please consider subscribing, hitting the like button, and sharing this video with your friends. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.